Hey guys, Sean here. Just wanted to drop you a quick message. And from last week's video, we had talked a little bit about, now what? Now that you know what you want to do and you know what goals that you want to accomplish, now what? And we broke down a couple of different steps and ideas that you can use in order to get to that goal that you might have. And one of the things that I talked about at the end of that video was some of the things that I use to develop and cultivate my PMA. And I really do have that thought process that I can't say is indestructible because we all have our faults. I have my moments where I just get hard on myself. But for the most part, I do have that really solid, strong, positive PMA. And some of the things that I do in order to be able to cultivate that is, like I'd said before, read and read some more. Those are things that I do. And then I also listen to a lot of podcasts. So to give you an idea and a snapshot of what my day looks like, I start my day, my alarm clock goes off at 6 o'clock, but I get up at 5:30. Why? I'm not exactly sure, and I get kind of mad about it, but it's all good. So I start my day 5:30, and before I even leave the bed, before I even go and take care of a little bit of business, I don't run anywhere, but before I get started, before I leave the bed, I turn on my TV and I listen to something motivational, something positive. I start my day with something positive. Normally it's a video that lasts about 3-4 minutes, maybe up to about 10 minutes or so. And that's just a good way to start my day, whether it's something motivational, spiritual, or something that's motivational from one of those greats in the industry, your Jim Rohns, your Eric Thomas, even just as simple as a spiritual side of things from Joel Osteen. And I know a lot of people have different opinions about what I do or some of the people that I'm going to mention here, whatever, basically what I'm saying is do something. Start your day with something positive, a person that you prefer and you like, TD Jakes. I start off with them or with him. Steve Harvey, I really am getting into a lot of his messages. Will Smith, Tyrese Gibson. A lot of those guys have some strong, in-depth knowledge on how you can correct the stink in your life and how you can put that positive mental attitude to use for you. And, I listen to a lot of those things. And I mentioned, again, podcasts. So if I'm out on the bike or something like that, or if I'm in the car driving up to Sarasota or driving anywhere, I like to throw in a podcast or an audiobook. And so I'm going to go through a couple of the audiobooks that I go through or podcasts. And the podcast, since I wrote them down, I'm going to try to be a little bit more exact. A couple of the ones that I listen to are Tiny Leaps, Big Changes, Your Motivational High Five, Becoming Kings, excuse me. Great one. I was actually interviewed on that one. Again, Joel Osteen's podcast, and seven Good Minutes, and those are short podcasts. Those are things that I listen to. Those are ones that I use. They're my go-to. They're my go-to. I don't really want to get into a book, but I want something positive to just give me a little zap throughout the day. I'll listen to one of those. I was a big proponent of, I like crime and mystery and novels. And I'm not saying that you can't listen to any of those things, but it can't be the predominant thing that you're feeding your mind with, because that's when you start to go south. You start to think that people aren't good. There's no good people, that you're not even a good person sometimes. You really just have to protect what goes into your mind. I legitimately do not watch the news. I just, if something important, I get my little news blurps here and there that pop up, but I'm not going to engulf myself in 30 minutes to an hour of news every single day, 3 or 4 times a day. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. There's things that are happening that, yes, you might want to be informed of, you might want to know how to protect yourself from, and that's great. But as a most part rule, I'm not going to subject myself to it. So on the book side of things, I'll give you names and authors so that if you feel so inclined, hop out there. Again, I'm a big audiobook kind of guy. I do have a lot of these in paperback as well. And I get most of my stuff through Audible or Scribd. And for podcasts, any podcast outlet that you like, that you prefer, go ahead and use it there. But I definitely use Scribd and Audible. No, they're not paying me to share this information, but I like to just share it with you. And maybe sometime down the line, I will be able to have an affiliate link that we'll be able to talk about here. So books wise, one of the ones I'm working on at this very moment is Mindset by Carol Dweck. The other one is Grit. I just finished that one by Angela Duckworth. Next Level Thinking, Founder, Farmer, Tinker, Thief by Chris Cooper. Great book. I mean, we want to be able to do things. We want to be something that we're currently not. We have to have an outside source that taps into part of our brain that we haven't thought about yet. So being able to think business-minded, professional-minded as a business owner, it's great to be able to dive into some of these books. One of the ones that I'm going to mention here, it's a great book. It's a fantastic book, but it gives you a perspective of business ownership that most people wouldn't look at it. Like every book that I read, I try to find some positive out of it, and not every book is a business-minded book. Not every book that I read or listen to is professionally based, but I will tell you that I extract the positive out of it. I extract the mindset of that individual out of it. And that book that I'm talking about here is Original Gangster by Frank Lucas. Man, if you dig into some of his thought processes and the concept and why he layered certain things in certain businesses, talking about diversification, this dude was on point. And I tell you, that is an outstanding book if you can get past some of the negative stuff that he did. But at the same time, I learn a little bit from everything that I listen to, and I learn a little bit about everything that I read and watch. So that's one of the ones. And the other one that I'll just touch base on here, and we're going to get into a lot more of them throughout the months and as we grow this channel, and that is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So that is an amazing book, amazing. And I think, I may have talked about it once before as a book, but when you really talk about taking things to that next level, thinking outside the box, breaking down your own walls that you've created in your mind that's stopping you, that's preventing you from your greatness, that is an amazing book. So I just want to share a couple of those. These are books that I take and I've listened to and I've read. Again, the other one I failed to mention is also the You're a Badass series from Jen Sincero. Amazing books. These are things that people talk about and concepts that they talk about that will help you move on in your business. They will help you move on and grow that mentality that, you know what, things might be tough now, but I'm trying to be something that I'm not, that I have never been, so that I have to have that mindset and that transitional mindset that allows me to grow and to open up and to see things from another perspective. Because if we knew it all, if we were exactly who we needed to be to realize the goals that we want to realize, we would already have them. So you're enough, yes, but we have to add a little bit of extra flavoring into it. To make a really great dish, we're going to have to sprinkle a book or two. You may have to read some type of cookbook, to know exactly what spices to add in which order. The same thing with our lives. If we want to be great, we have to add sprinkles of self-esteem. We have to add sprinkles of different thought processes of leaders and individuals that have gone before us. And those are the things that will allow us to open our mind, expand our vision, make new connections for yourself so that you can grow and become the person that you need to be. So just wanted to share that quick message with you guys. Books, podcasts, motivational stuff first thing in the morning, and those are the things that will get your day started right. Regardless of what happens, you are at least going to have a good start. And then from there, you'll be able to ponder the things that are said. You'll take those things to heart. And if you really, really, really want to get some good stuff, take notes on those things. That's how you can remember. You can go back and listen and remember little excerpts from each one that helps you remember the thought process, that you had when you wrote that down. And then you'll be able to really cultivate that stuff long term in your mind. So with that being said, I'm gonna kick off here, and we